What is on top of the deck?
This is the most complex card game in the world. Every year there's a tournament called the RCQ, where hundreds of players each build a unique 60-card deck and compete against each other for a chance at a cash prize, and maybe even a place in the Magic World Championship.
And that's gonna be it! Arlo is your world champion!
I've always been a competitive person, I know that. I just can't believe it's taken me this long to enter a high-level tournament like this. But if I do this, I'm going to need a deck. Which is easier said than done, but even after that, I'm gonna need to practice. I think I should start out playing at some smaller tournaments. But eventually on October 21st, which is only a few weeks from now, comes the ultimate test, the Regional Championships qualifier. Magic the Gathering is one of the most complex card games just because there's over 25,000 different cards to choose from, and you have to make a 60-card deck. So obviously that's a bit overwhelming when it comes to deck building, but luckily there's a lot of sites that sort decks by their win percentages, so that can kind of help you out a lot. When choosing a deck, price plays an important factor. Magic cards are kind of like cryptocurrency. One day your card could be worth $60 and the next $10. But price isn't the only issue. I also have to take into consideration the percentage of players I think will be running certain decks, so I can build mine with cards specifically meant to win against them. I found plenty of potential decks to choose from, but they were all too expensive. Except one. Okay, yeah, that's slightly more affordable, and yeah, it's the cheapest one, so let's go. But now I had to practice against all the other decks I might run into, so I printed out paper versions of all the decks my opponents could be playing. I put in the work, staying up all night just to write my own personal strategy guide, because when I get to the Regional Championships qualifier, I want to be as prepared as I can. But while it's easy to say all this, I want to prove to myself that I can actually do it. So I signed up for a smaller event to put what I've learned to the test. Okay, so as I'm editing this, I realized that I actually forgot to film this next part, but don't worry, I'm still gonna make it entertaining. Introducing me in Lego form. That need to compete feeling, that's what drives me. I don't have to be the best at something, I just have to want it more than my opponent. So I lost pretty badly by drawing 0 land twice, which if you don't know, land is what you need to be able to play cards basically. But the tournament's tomorrow, not much more I can do about that, so I'm just gonna have to wait and see what happens.
How are you check in? Name please.
Arlo.
Arlo?
Yeah.
All set, Arlo.
Okay. Do you need my deck list or anything?
I'll be collecting.
Okay. Cool, thanks. Now, I ran into a bit of a production problem here as I was trying to figure out how to make 5 hours of playing a card game look interesting. And I can't do a Lego version of it again because that took me forever to animate, so I figured I'd just give you the highlight reel. I started by drawing my opening hand of 7 cards.
I'm gonna mull this.
My opening hand was pretty bad, so I decided to take a mulligan, meaning I'll shuffle my hand back and draw a new hand, but this time with 1 less card.
I'm gonna go for a treasure cruise and draw 3.
But luckily for me, my deck is built around gaining card advantage. From there, I had enough resources to start dealing damage to my opponent.
Tap 4, hard cast a Phoenix, and then combat. So I hit you for 6.
But unfortunately, because I started the game with 1 less card, my opponent already had the upper hand.
How many cards in hand? 4? Yeah.
So there was only one way to win this game. I had to draw the perfect card.
I got Lightning Axe, discarding a Shredder on the,
Yeah, that's the perfect draw. Good game.
Yeah, that's a good game.
The next few games were a blur. I won some, I lost some. But in the end, I finished 17th place out of 62. Am I disappointed? A little. I mean, I wanted to do better. But given that this is my first time playing in a high-level event, I think I did pretty good. And there's always the possibility of a second chance.